I have focused firstly on this beautiful little foreground, this old scrub here, and then in on the tree that you see there. And that really formed the basis of this composition. So the foreground leading you into the tree with the sky and colour in the background. So I did both landscape and portrait orientation. Hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I did taking them. We're here at White Cliffs in New South Wales. This is a fabulous little area that's been mined for opals for the past 220, 230 years. You'll have to excuse the attire. Thanks, Jeremy. Jeremy is a photographer, phenomenal Australian landscape photographer who relocated from the east coast to the absolute back end of nowhere in the outback up north. I think about 500 kilometres north of Alice Springs, which is probably the nearest town. So good on you, mate. I come out Aussie, didn't I? So anyway, yeah, he's a fabulous photographer, and the flies and mosquitoes get him every time, as they do me. So I saw him wearing one of these. I thought I'd give it a go. So it sort of worked. It's kept them off my head and my face. Hurrah. I haven't got lumps and bumps on my head. Unfortunately, I didn't put on a loose cotton shirt. So my arms and my back and in parts of my legs have been bitten because the mosquitoes can get through the fabric and they're attacking my bare skin. So anyway, for as far as you can see, the surface of this land has been scoured, and that's the reason why you can only see relatively young trees. All the seriously old trees have been felled so that people can get to the ground underneath and search for opals. Quite recently they actually found a few dinosaurs, I think the plesiosaurs, so ocean-going creatures. So they found fossils here. And not only did they find the fossils of a plesiosaur, which is, I would imagine, is exciting in itself, they also found that they've been opalized. So they'd actually, the bones, the fossils had actually turned to opal, which is amazing when you think of it. So yeah, so we're here taking this little tree that you see before you. I've had to get down really low to try and get it above the far horizon. And what really I love the shape of these clouds, the way they're pulling off to the right, and it actually works really well with the shape of the tree. So I was really pleased with that. Fairly short exposures this morning, so 15 to 30 seconds at the moment. So let's go and see what we can find while we've still got some of this light. Okay, bit of a rush here to try and get this one set up. You can see we've got some nice colour in the background. I think I may need to change my lens. The wide angle is throwing that background, that sky way out, and tiny in the distance, and so I think I've just got to throw on a slightly longer lens, move back a touch and see what we can create with that. I'm going to focus on the tree itself. We'll capture that. 1.3 seconds. Let's check and make sure. And they're slightly blown out, so what we do immediately is we will take that down, keeping an eye on the histogram. And that looks about right. 2-second timer. Recheck. And we haven't blown anything. Now, so that's great. So I've got the clouds, I've got the trees, and now I'm going to focus right in on the foreground here. There are some nice little plants. And that should give us front to back. Oops, that should give us, ow, 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 oh, ow, oh, spiny little buggers. Oh, don't put your hands on the ground, spiny little plants. And that should give us front to back sharpness. Light is starting to rise quite prettily now, so we're going to shift our composition. So always look around. So we'll look back this way, and I quite like that couple of trees that are just sat there with that little path leading up. And if we wait a moment, we should have some light. Crazy, isn't it? The things you do to try and stay sane and keep mosquitoes off your face. Flies are everywhere. So if we wait a moment or two, what I'm hoping for is as that sun, it's just gone behind a piece of that cloud over there. When it comes out, it's going to bask or coat or baste, maybe. It's just going to throw some golden light on these trees here. And hopefully that'll bring it alive. And what I'd really love is some of that light just bouncing off the red soil. Are we getting any of that light? I think we are getting some of that light coming through. I can see those red stones starting to glow a little bit. So I'm going to come back down. I'm going to take that foreground. What I'm probably going to do, I'm going to throw up the ISO a touch and just to speed up. There's hardly any wind, but that's okay. Just want to speed it up a touch and freeze those little plants. And as ever, check to make sure we haven't blown anything out, and we haven't. And then I'll refocus up on the tree. What we're waiting for is some of that light, which I'm hoping is going to happen anytime soon. If you notice, I've got I've set this composition up now with 3 trees. I could probably slightly adjust it as well to give them a little bit more prominence. So I'll take that again, and I'll take the foreground once again. So I'm happy with this composition. It's not earth-shattering, but it's just quite nice, and it tells the story of this quite desolate and land, man-impacted land. Everything that you can see around you has been changed. Most of the hills have been flattened. The hills that are here are full of scree and broken boulders, because the top, 6-7 foot of it has been decimated and rolled about. But it does create such a beautiful, beautiful little landscape. So I'm still waiting for that sun just to crest over the hill, but I can actually see another little composition, so I'll give this a moment or two more and then we'll shift and see if we can get just one more image out of this. But it's certainly an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. I've adjusted the composition one last time, and that light has finally broken through and it is coating these rocks beautifully. And I'm adjusting the composition so that I can get the 3 trees with that golden glow, and also just in this foreground there are 3 boulders. Oh, that light's pretty, very pretty indeed, just creeping across the scene. I'm just gonna increase higher up that composition and give it a bit more sky. It's the composition at the moment is quite bottom heavy, but purposely, because what can you do with these rocks and this landscape? And again, I'm just doing 3 shots. Thanks very much for joining me here today at White Cliffs. I'm still wearing this because the flies are excellent. Thank you, Jeremy. It's a wonderful piece of kit, and it's somewhere where I can just pop on my microphone too. Oops, maybe I shouldn't do that, but yes, microphone too. And it's better than clipping it on my t-shirt because it just seems to move my head. It moves with me, so yeah, great. A great little find, thank you. So thank you for joining me here at White Cliffs, and thank you for last year if you've been with me on this journey, and welcome if this is your first time joining. Let's have a ball. Let's see what we can create this year. Thank you. Here's to 2023. Have a fabulous time wherever you are anyway. Look after yourself, look after your loved ones, and until next time, See ya.